Hello students, I am Harshala Datte, Senior Lecturer of Department of Computer Engineering. In this video lecture, I am going to teach you the topic linear queue. In last video lecture, we have completed this tag. Now we are going to learn the next linear data structure, that is linear queue. The unit outcome of this unit is to develop a program to perform given operations on linear queue. The learning outcomes of this video are: after learning this video, you will understand queue definition, working principle of queue, types of queue, linear queue as an ADT, that is abstract data type, overflow condition of linear queue, underflow condition of linear queue, insert operation on linear queue, delete operation on linear queue, and display operation on linear queue. Definition of queue. A queue is a non-primitive linear data structure in which an element may be inserted at one end called rear and deleted from the another end called front. So this is a physical queue. Here there is an array having two variable, pointer variable front and rear. Front point to the zeroth index variable, zeroth index number, and rear points to the last index number, that is max minus 1, where max is the size of the array. And deletion performs at the front end and insertion performed at the rear end. Let us take the real time example to understand the queue concept. This is the queue for the ATM machine. You can see that the person which is at first position, a boy wearing red t-shirt, will use the ATM machine first, and the lady which is at the last position wearing red dress will access the ATM machine last. So the first person is at front location and the last person is at rear position. If any another person comes, then it will insert it at the rear side, means after that lady. And if and who will be removed from the queue first? The red t-shirt person, because it is at the front side. That's why queue is a data structure in which insertion takes at rear side, whereas deletion takes from the front side. This is another example. If this is a one way of only one lane, then the vehicle which is at the first position will go out from that road, and which is at the last, it will go out at the last. So queue follows the principle first in first out or last in last out. Definition of queue. This is the computer examples of the queue. So printer queue and the disk queue. If you give the 10 files to print for the printer, and then which file will get printed first? Which the file which you are given given for printing first, then after that the next file, then next. So printer uses the queue data structure to store all the printing job that is received by the printer, and it will print sequentially, same as the disk. Working principle of queue. Queue is also known as the first in first out list because the element inserted first will be removed first and the element inserted last will be get deleted last. So this is a diagram. NQ stands for the insert operation, whereas DQ stands for the delete operation, and NQ stands for the NQ operation. This is the rear end and this is the front end. From front end we are going to perform delete operation, and from rear end we are going to perform the NQ, that is insert operation. These are the four types of the queue. Linear queue that we are going to cover in this video lecture. Circular queue we are going to cover in the next video lecture, and priority and DQ we are going to cover into the next video lecture. Queue representation using array. If you want to store the queue using array, so you require one array and two pointer variable. So this is the array of size 3 and two pointer variable, front and rear. Insertion takes place from the rear end and deletion takes place from the front end. So this is the structure of queue. For making structure of queue, you require one array and two variable, front and rear. So likewise, we are going to write the structure. This is the structure of queue. Struct queue. Queue is a structure name. One array A of 3 because size of queue is our 3 and front and rear. Queue as an ADT. Before implementing queue, we have to make the abstract data type of the queue. So first initialize queue to be empty. Then check queue is empty or not. Why we are checking it? Because if queue is empty, we cannot perform delete operation. Then check queue is full or not. Find a condition when queue is full. Why? Because if queue is full, we cannot perform insert operation. Insert a new element at the rear end of the queue if it is not full. Then delete the element from the front end if the queue is not empty. The insert operation on the full queue causes the queue overflow, whereas delete operation on the empty queue causes the queue underflow. Now we are going to implement this ADT one by one. So first is the queue empty. How to make the queue empty? Front and rear is equal to -1. So this is a queue which is empty. If there is any single element at the 0th location, then front and rear will point to the 0. But there is no element, that's why front and rear points to the -1 less than 0. Next condition is queue full. So queue full condition is rear is equal to max -1, where max is the size of the queue. So this is a queue of size 3. Front point to the 0th index position and rear point to the last, that is max -1. Since size is 3, so 3 minus 1, 2. So rear is equal to 2. So this is a queue full condition if rear is at last position. In real time example also, how you know that queue is full? You see at the last position. If there is a person at the last position, then your queue is full. The function for the queue initialization. In initialization function, we are going to make the queue empty. So what is the queue empty condition? Front is equal to rear is equal to -1 or front is equal to -1. So this is the structure of queue. From now, we are writing F for the front and R for the rear. And Q is a structure variable. So in init Q, this is the function name init Q, and we are passing the Q pointer Q. Q is what? Structure variable. So how you make the Q empty? By F is equal to -1 and R is equal to -1. But F and R are the member of the Q structure. That's why they are accessed using the structure variable, that is Q. So we are writing F like Q of F and Q of R. So here we are writing Q of F is equal to -1 and Q of R is equal to -1. So this is the Q initialization function where we make the Q empty by setting front and rear is equal to -1. Next operation is a insert operation. Insert operation is used to insert the element into queue at the rear end. And insert operation on full queue causes the queue overflow. These are the steps for performing the insert operation. Rear plus plus. For insert operation, we are incrementing the rear. Then next step, we place the item to be inserted at the rear position. That's why next step is A of rear is equal to item. And if front is equal to -1, then we set front to 0. So if we are inserting the element into empty queue, so for inserting the element into empty queue, we are not only incrementing the rear, we are incrementing front also. Because if there is only one element in the queue, then that element is the first element, that element also the last element. So both pointer point to the that one element only. Front pointed to the first element and rear point to the last elements. So let us understand it with the help of the diagram. So this is empty queue where front and rear is equal to -1. So now we are going to perform the operation, insert operation, insert 10. So for insert operation, step 1 is to increment rear plus by 1. So what is rear? -1. What is rear here? It is -1. So -1 plus 1, 0. And we are putting in step 2, a of rear is equal to item. So we are putting in 10 at the 0th location. But since we are inserting the element into empty queue, we are incrementing the front also. See, if front in step 3, if front is equal to -1, yes, front is equal to -1, you can see here. Here, so you can see here, front is equal to -1, that's why we are incrementing front also. So front plus plus -1 plus 1, 0. Now see 10 is a single element in the queue, so front and rear points to that same element. Next operation, insert 20. How we inserted 20? By doing the first two steps. Rear plus plus, rear will point 0 plus 1, 1, and we are putting the element at the rear end, that is at the first location. Again if you want to insert a 30, we again increment the rear by 1, rear plus plus, rear will point to 2, and element will be added to second location. Now 3 times I have done the insert operation. If I want to again insert any element, so what will happen? That will be the queue overflow, because there is no place to insertion. So perform again, insert 40. So we are checking the queue overflow condition, that is rear is equal to max minus 1. Since rear is equal to 2, that is rear is equal to max minus 1, where max is the size of the queue, which is 3 in this case. So 3 minus 1, 2. Therefore we write the message queue is overflow. You can't perform the insert operation. So queue overflow condition is rear is equal to max minus 1, where max is the number of elements in the array or size of the queue. Let us see the algorithm for the insert. The first step, of course, while performing the insert operation, your queue should not be full. That's why we first check whether there is a place or not. So we are checking if there is any overflow or not. So step 1, if rear is equal to max minus 1, then we write the queue overflow and return. Why return? Because we cannot perform insert operation. If there is no overflow, then we are going to perform actual insertion. So in step 2, we are incrementing the rear by 1. So rear is equal to rear plus 1. And in step 3, we are storing the num value at the rear position of the queue. If step 4 is done only once, when we are going to insert the element into empty queue. Whatever you are going to insert the element is the first element. Then if front is equal to -1 and rear is equal to -1, then set front and rear is equal to 0. And step 5 is return. This is a function for the insert operation on the queue. This is the algorithm that I have teach you now. Let us implement the function using this algorithm. This is a function name is insert. We are passing the num stores the value which is to be inserted into the queue, and pointer queue passes the structure of queue. So first step is checking the overflow. See, if rear is equal to 2, why 2? Because our size of queue is 3. So 3 minus 1, 2. So if rear is equal to max minus 1, then we are writing queue overflow. Next step is set rear is equal to rear plus 1. So queue of rear plus plus. Step 3 is a queue of rear is equal to num. So in array at rear position we are going to store the num. So that's why we are writing queue of A of queue of rear position is equal to num. And in step 4, if front is equal to -1, then we are setting queue of F and R is equal to 0. We can either write down queue of F is equal to 0 also. So this is how the algorithm is converted into your function. This is a function, insert function for the linear queue. Next operation of the queue is the delete operation. Delete operation is used to delete an element from the queue present at the front end. A delete operation on the empty queue causes the queue underflow. These are the two steps. which element will be get deleted from the queue which is at the front side. So step 1 is a of front is equal to 0, and then if front is equal to rear, front is equal to rear means what? If there is only single element present in the queue, then front and rear points to that element only, because single element is the first and single element, that element is the last element. That's why if front is equal to rear, and if you delete that element, single element which is present in the queue, your queue will become empty. So if front is equal to rear, then front and rear is equal to -1, means this is a queue empty condition. Otherwise front plus plus. So for insert operation we are incrementing rear, and for delete operation we are incrementing the front. So let us understand it with help of the diagram. So this is a queue full. You can see that front is at 0th location, rear is at 2nd location, queue size is 3, and element are present 10, 20 and 30. Let us perform the delete operation. Which element will get deleted from this queue? Of course, which is at the front location. So how we set the queue, a of front is equal to 0. So 10 will get deleted and we put here 0, and we are incrementing the front by 1. So front will point to the 1. Now 20 is at front side. Again I want to perform delete operation. How delete is performed? We make 0 at the first location, front location, and then incrementing the front by 1 like this. Now front and rear points to 30. Why? Because there is only one element 30 present over there. After deleting 30, your queue will become empty. So how? We first make a of step 1, a of front is equal to 0, and then check whether f is equal to r, means front is equal to rear. Yes, then we are setting front and rear is equal to -1. So that is nothing but your queue is empty, queue empty condition. Front is equal to rear is equal to -1. If I want to perform delete again 4 times, can I perform delete operation on this queue? No. Why? Because the queue is already empty. We can't perform the delete operation. But if I try to delete the operation, delete the element from the empty queue, what it will causes? It will cause the queue underflow. See, I called the delete function 4th time. So I get the message, since front is equal to rear is equal to -1, queue underflow. So queue underflow condition is front is equal to rear is equal to -1. This is the algorithm for the delete operation. In step 1, like in insert we check for overflow, for delete we check for the underflow. If rear is equal to -1, either you can write here front is equal to -1, either you can write here rear is equal to -1, because if front is -1, rear will automatically -1, because if we delete the last element from the queue, your queue will be empty. Okay, and for empty queue, front and rear both are at the -1. Step 2, set queue of front is equal to 0. This is the actual deletion. After deletion, we are going to set the front. Either we are incrementing the front, or if whatever you are deleting is the last element. How you know that it is the last element? If f is equal to r, then we are making the queue empty by setting f and r is equal to -1. So see, in step 3, if f is equal to r, front is equal to rear, then set front and rear is equal to -1 to become the queue empty. Otherwise, set front is equal to front plus 1. And last step is the return. This is the function for the delete operation. This is the algorithm that I teach you now. Let us convert this algorithm into the function. So this is the function name void del. We cannot take the function name as a delete, because delete is a C keyword and we cannot use the keyword as a function name or variable name. So the function name is del. You can write anything. I write function name del, and we are passing only structure variable queue. We can't tell what element you want to delete, because queue follows first in first out. So element which is at the front side automatically will get deleted. So as in step 1, we are checking for the underflow condition. If rear is equal to -1, then we print queue underflow. In step 2, queue of front is equal to 0. So queue of front means in our structure there is an array A. So we set queue of A of q of f is equal to 0. See, q of a of q of f is equal to 0. Then in step 3 we are checking if f is equal to r, front is equal to rear. So we write down if q of f is equal to q of r, then q of f is equal to q of r is equal to -1. Otherwise else q of f plus plus. So this is the function for the delete operation. The last operation is the display. If this is a q, the output of the display function will be 10, 20, 30. We will display the output of the q from front to the rear. Okay, so for displaying, again your queue should not be empty, there should be any element for the display. So we will first check whether your queue is empty or not by checking the underflow condition. So if r is equal to -1, then we print that queue is empty. Otherwise same, is this is the array, that's why we again use the logic that is used to print the array. But in array we print take the for loop from 0th index to last index number, but in queue we are taking from front to rear. So see, I is equal to, for I is equal to q of front to I less than equal to q of rear, I plus plus, we are printing the array. So output of this will be 10, 20 and 30. Till now we have seen the queue overflow, linear queue overflow condition, linear queue underflow condition, insert function, delete function and the display function. Thank you.